Move your damn car. The words hit like a slap across the quiet Montana highway. Marcus Lee, a black man in his late 40s, sat behind the wheel of his Honda Civic, staring at the massive red pickup truck blocking both lanes ahead. The driver, a heavy-set white man with Confederate flag bumper sticker, leaned out his window, grinning like he'd just won the lottery. "What's the matter?" the truck driver shouted, his voice dripping with mockery. "Late for your shift? Maybe if you people weren't so lazy, you'd leave on time." Marcus's hands tightened on the steering wheel. The leather creaked under his grip. He'd been driving for 6 hours straight, heading home to his daughter's 8th birthday party. The cake sat in the passenger seat, chocolate frosting starting to sweat in the afternoon heat. He was already running behind. But this wasn't about being late anymore. Imagine driving on an empty highway, minding your own business, only to have someone deliberately block your path just because of the color of your skin. Imagine feeling your blood pressure rise as racist taunts echo through your open window, and knowing that if you react, if you lose control even for a second, you'll become the villain in someone's story. That's exactly what was happening to Marcus Lee on Highway 89, and what happened next will remind everyone watching that some people carry invisible burdens no one can see until they're pushed too far. 10 minutes earlier, Marcus had been listening to his daughter's voicemail. "Daddy, when are you coming home? Everyone's asking about you." Her voice, so small and hopeful, had made him press harder on the accelerator. He'd been away for 2 weeks, working a security contract in Seattle, and he'd promised Amelia he'd be there before the candles were lit. Then he'd seen the pickup truck weaving between lanes, driving slow, then fast, brake-checking cars. When Marcus tried to pass on the left, the truck swerved to block him. When he moved right, the truck mirrored him, trapping him at 40 miles per hour on a road built for 70. At first, Marcus thought it was just a bad driver, but then the truck slowed to a crawl, forcing Marcus to brake. That's when the driver looked in his rear-view mirror, locked eyes with Marcus, and smiled. A deliberate, knowing smile. That's when Marcus understood. This was an accident. This was a game. And he was the target. Now, the truck sat sideways across both lanes, completely blocking the road. The driver climbed out, boots hitting the asphalt with authority. He was big, maybe 6'3", wearing a stained white tank top and jeans held up by a belt with a buckle shaped like a gun. His arms were covered in tattoos, faded ink spelling out words Marcus couldn't quite read from this distance. "Come on," the man called out, his voice echoing across the empty highway. "Get out of the car. Let's have a conversation. You know, about respecting people like me on roads we built." He spat on the ground. "About knowing your place." Marcus stayed still. His military training kicked in automatically. Assess the situation. Identify threats. Control your breathing. Never escalate unless absolutely necessary. But his hands were shaking now. Not from fear. From something deeper. From a lifetime of moments like this. Different faces, same hatred. Different places, same message. You don't belong here. The truck driver walked closer, his boots scraping against gravel. "What, you scared? I bet you are. I bet you're sitting there thinking about calling the cops." He laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Go ahead. Call them. Tell them a white man made you uncomfortable. See how that works out for you." A car approached from behind. A silver SUV with a family inside. Marcus could see them in his rear-view mirror, the mother in the passenger seat, leaning forward. Try to understand why traffic had stopped. The truck driver turned, waved them around with exaggerated politeness. Even smiled at the kids in the back seat. "Sorry, folks," he called out cheerfully. "Just having a talk with my friend here. Road's clear on the shoulder if you need to pass." The SUV hesitated, then slowly drove around on the narrow shoulder, kicking up dust. As they passed Marcus's car, the mother looked at him. Their eyes met for just a second. Marcus saw it in her face. The question, the judgment. "Why are you causing trouble? Why don't you just move?" Then they were gone, and it was just Marcus and the truck driver again. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew you were right, but everyone around you acted like you were the problem? Where the real aggressor played victim so convincingly that witnesses believed him instead of you? Before we go further, tell us, what state or country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. We love seeing where our viewers are tuning in from. And if you believe no one should be harassed just for existing, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for stories that prove dignity always wins over hatred. Marcus finally spoke. His voice was calm, measured, the way he'd learned to speak in situations like this. "Sir, I just need to get home to my daughter. If you could please move your vehicle, we can both go on with our day." The truck driver laughed harder. "Sir? Oh, that's cute. You're trying to sound all educated." He leaned against Marcus's hood, making himself comfortable. "See, here's the thing. I don't like your attitude. Driving up on me like you own the road. Flashing your lights like I'm the problem." "I never flashed my lights," Marcus said quietly. "Yes, you did. I saw it. And that's disrespectful." The man's smile faded. "People like you need to learn some manners. My grandfather fought for this country, died in Vietnam. And now folks like you walk around acting like you're owed something." Marcus's jaw clenched. "If only you knew," he thought. "If only you had any idea." "I'm asking you nicely," Marcus said, his voice dropping lower. "Please move your truck." "Or what?" The man stepped closer to the driver's window, his face inches from Marcus's. His breath smelled like cheap beer and cigarettes. "What are you going to do about it, boy?" The word hung in the air like poison. Marcus's vision blurred for just a second, not from anger, but from memory. That word. He'd heard it before. Screamed at him by an insurgent in Fallujah before Marcus put 3 rounds center mass. Whispered by a contractor in Kandahar who thought Marcus was just diversity hire, until Marcus saved his life during a mortar attack. Spat at him by a sergeant during basic training, who ended up saluting Marcus years later, when Marcus made captain. Boy, he'd buried that word under years of discipline, service, and sacrifice. But it never really died. It just waited, and now it was back, delivered by a man who had no idea who he was talking to. Marcus opened his door slowly, deliberately. He stood up, 6 feet of lean muscle and control power. The truck driver stepped back instinctively, then caught himself, puffed his chest out to compensate. "That's right," the man said, but his voice had lost some of its confidence. "Come on then." Marcus didn't move closer. He just stood there, hands at his sides, breathing steadily. 20 years in the military had taught him how to read people. And right now, he could see it clear as day. This man was scared. Underneath all the bluster and hatred, he was terrified, not of Marcus the person, but of what Marcus represented. Change. Equality. A world where skin color didn't determine worth. "I'm not going to fight you," Marcus said quietly. "I'm going to ask you one more time. Move your truck." The driver's eyes darted to Marcus's car, to the birthday cake melting on the seat. "Whose party?" he asked, his tone shifting to something uglier. "Your welfare kids? Let me guess. Baby mama drama, right? That's what you people are good at." Something cracked inside Marcus. Not broke. Cracked. Like ice under pressure, ready to split apart, but not quite gone yet. "My daughter," Marcus said, his voice barely above a whisper, "is waiting for me. She's 8 years old today. I have been gone for 2 weeks, working to provide for her, and you are standing between me and keeping my promise to her." The truck driver shrugged. "Not my problem, friend. Maybe you should have thought about that before you." "Before I what?" Marcus interrupted, his voice sharp now, cutting. "Before I woke up black? Before I decided to drive on a public highway? Before I existed in a space you think belongs only to you?" For the first time, the truck driver had no comeback. He just stared, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. "You want to know what I think?" Marcus continued, taking 1 step forward. The driver flinched. "I think you woke up today feeling small, feeling like the world was changing in ways you don't understand. And you saw me, a black man driving a decent car, minding my business, and you thought, here's someone I can make feel smaller than me. That's what this is really about." The driver's face flushed red. "You don't know anything about me." "I know enough," Marcus said. "I know you're blocking a highway to feel powerful. I know you're using racial slurs because you don't have actual arguments. I know you're scared of a world where someone like me doesn't have to ask permission to exist. A state trooper's car appeared on the horizon, lights flashing. Someone must have called it in. The truck driver saw it too, his eyes widening. "Oh, perfect," he said quickly, his whole demeanor shifting. "Officer, thank God you're here. This man has been threatening me, blocking the road, refusing to leave. I was just trying to talk to him calmly, but he got aggressive." Marcus almost laughed. Almost. The performance was incredible. The truck driver's voice had gone from mocking to trembling. His body language shifted from aggressive to defensive. And as the trooper's car pulled up, the driver actually took a step back from Marcus, as if creating distance from a threat. The trooper stepped out, a young white guy, maybe late 20s, with the kind of neutral expression that could mean anything. His hand rested casually near his belt. His eyes took in the scene. The truck blocking both lanes, Marcus standing by his car, the truck driver pointing and gesturing wildly. "Officer, thank God," the driver said again. "I was just driving along when this guy started tailgating me, flashing his lights, honking. I pulled over to let him pass, and he blocked me and started yelling threats. I'm just trying to get home safely." Marcus said nothing. He'd been through this before, too. He knew how it worked. The trooper would hear the truck driver first, would see a large black man, and a frightened white man, would make assumptions, would ask Marcus to step away from his vehicle, maybe put his hands on the hood, maybe run his license for warrants. This was the script. Marcus knew his lines. "Sir," the trooper said, turning to Marcus, "can you tell me what's happening here?" "This man deliberately blocked the highway," Marcus said calmly, "and has been harassing me for the past 15 minutes. The truck driver scoffed. "That's a lie, officer. I swear I was just—" "Let him finish," the trooper said, his tone neutral. He turned back to Marcus. "Go on." Marcus explained, step by step, what had happened, the weaving, the blocking, the racial slurs. As he spoke, he watched the trooper's face, trying to read him, but the officer gave nothing away. When Marcus finished, the trooper nodded slowly. "Do you have any proof of this?" Marcus's heart sank. Of course he didn't. No dash cam. No witnesses who'd stopped. Just his word against a man who'd already painted himself as a victim. "I have my word," Marcus said quietly. The truck driver jumped in. "Officer, I have a clean record. I'm a business owner, a taxpayer. I've never been in trouble. This man is clearly just trying to cause problems because, well, you know how it is these days. Everyone's got a victim complex." The trooper's jaw tightened slightly. "Sir, I'm going to need you to step back to your vehicle." The driver smiled, thinking he'd won. He started walking back to his truck. "Not you," the trooper said sharply. "Him." He pointed at the truck driver. "You, stay right there. Hands where I can see them." The driver's smile vanished. "Wait, what? I'm the victim here." "No, sir, you're not." The trooper pulled out his radio. "Dispatch, this is Unit 7. I'm going to need backup at mile marker 42 on Highway 89. And send a tow truck. We got a vehicle blocking both lanes." The truck driver's face went white. "You can't be serious. I told you what happened." The trooper ignored him, walking over to Marcus. "Sir, do you have your license and registration?" Marcus handed them over, his hand steady now. The trooper glanced at the license, then looked up sharply. His eyes went to Marcus's face, then back to the license, then to the military ID tucked behind it. "Captain Lee?" the trooper said quietly. Marcus nodded. The trooper's whole posture changed. He stepped back slightly, almost at attention. "Captain Marcus Lee. Bronze Star, Purple Heart. 3 tours in Iraq, 2 in Afghanistan. Retired last year after 20 years of service." The truck driver's mouth fell open. The trooper handed the documents back carefully. "Sir, thank you for your service. I'm sorry you had to deal with this." "How do you know all that?" Marcus asked, genuinely curious. The trooper smiled slightly. "My brother served with you in Fallujah, 2nd Battalion. He's talked about you more times than I can count." Said you saved his life during that hotel siege. He paused. My brother's name is Danny Ortiz. Marcus's eyes widened. Danny, the kid from Texas. Always had terrible jokes. Still does, the trooper laughed. Then his expression hardened as he turned to the truck driver. Sir, you're under arrest for obstruction of a highway, reckless endangerment, and we'll see what else we can add once I review the dash cam footage of my car, which has been recording this entire conversation. The driver's knees buckled. Your dash cam? But I didn't say anything wrong to you. No, the trooper said coldly. But I heard every word you said to Captain Lee before I got out of my vehicle. Every slur, every threat, and it's all on tape. The truck driver tried to backpedal. I didn't mean, I was just, look, we can work this out, right? I didn't know he was military. If I'd known, that's the problem. Marcus said quietly, stepping forward. You didn't need to know. You should have treated me with basic human respect regardless of what I've done or who I am. The fact that you're apologizing now, after finding out I'm a veteran, proves you never saw me as a person in the first place. You saw a black man, and that was enough. The driver had no response. His eyes filled with tears, not from remorse, but from fear of consequences. As the trooper handcuffed him, reading him his rights, Marcus walked back to his car. His hands were shaking again, but this time from relief. He picked up his phone and dialed. Daddy. Amelia's voice came through, bright with hope. Hey, sweetheart, Marcus said, his voice cracking slightly. I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm on my way now. I'll be there in an hour. Okay, Daddy. I love you. I love you too, baby. Marcus hung up and sat in his car, watching through the rearview mirror as backup arrived. As the truck driver was placed in the back of a patrol car, still protesting, still playing victim, the trooper walked over, leaned into Marcus's window. Captain, you're free to go. I'll need your contact information for the report, but you won't have to do anything else unless this goes to trial. And between you and me, this guy's got 3 prior complaints for road rage. 2 involved racial slurs. He just finally got caught on camera. Marcus nodded, wrote down his number. As he started his car, the trooper saluted. Marcus returned it, then drove away, leaving the circus behind. In his rear-view mirror, he saw the tow truck arrive in the hallway of the red pickup with its Confederate flag still proudly displayed on the bumper. An hour later, Marcus walked into his house carrying a slightly melted cake and his daughter's favorite flowers. Amelia screamed with joy, launching herself into his arms. Family and friends surrounded them, singing happy birthday off-key and too loud. As Amelia blew out her candles, Marcus closed his eyes. He thought about the man on the highway, about the trooper who'd done the right thing, about his daughter, who would grow up in a world where battles like today's still had to be fought, but also about hope, about Danny Ortiz, who'd told his brother stories, about a young trooper who'd listened, about a system that, just this once, had worked the way it was supposed to. The world wasn't fixed, but it was trying, and that had to count for something. If you believe respect should be automatic, not earned through titles or service, hit that like button. And if you've ever had to prove your humanity to someone who should have seen it from the start, share your story in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel for more stories about real people fighting everyday battles with dignity and courage. Because the truth is, we all have invisible burdens. And the least we can do is treat each other like we know that. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.